Welcome to DaVinci electric scooter review. What we have outside is a DaVinci scooter. I'm clicking through here some of the images that DaVinci makes as a brand. This is the scooter that we have outside that we're going to look at in great detail as usual, especially focusing, as you expect from me, focusing on materials and material failure. So let's take a look at some of the claims the manufacturer here has. Maybe get a little closer there. They have a history of about 2 decades. They are designed and engineered to exact specifications. Yeah, you know I major in looking at exact specifications, and they claim that the scooter is designed to endure the rigors of daily commuter use. Yeah, I'll be the judge of that there. They offer extensive marketing and technical support. That's very nice. They intend to set an example for future generations to reduce carbon footprint. That's very nice. And their goal is that they replace one petroleum-based vehicle with an eco-friendly electric scooter per household in the next 10 years. So it's good goals and good ideas and good marketing, but we'll see how these they're quality vehicles, because I'm sure it's affordable. I'm not sure how reliable they are as is, but we're gonna have to talk to the owners because we have them. And yes, there's the company. It's not a company motto, but there's something the company stands for, to reduce carbon print by eco-friendly transportation system. So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Zero Motorcycles is another brand that does that. I have a Zero Motorcycle review already on the channel somewhere. I'm gonna include a link of it here. And these motorcycles, they look cute, they look practical, you know. If their range works for your line of work or your type of commuting, you know, this can be actually a reasonable, viable alternative to transportation methods. And over there in the FAQ section there are a couple of interesting statements. The speed of the motorcycle is limited to whatever legislation dictates. The range of the motorcycle is between 40 and 60 kilometers, alrighty. And here in the value section they make a couple of interesting statements. First off, they firmly believe that they make the best electric scooters and bikes. That's good, and there's nothing wrong with brimming with confidence. And they say that they use good quality tested components. They don't use the best products because of the higher cost. They don't use generic, untested or randomly tested components. They use good quality tested components. And they say that results in a superior finished product. So I guess I'm going to be putting these claims to the test fairly shortly on. I'm going to head out there and see how these claims check out. And there we are. What we have on the left hand side is my Kawasaki Ninja ZX6, and on the right hand side is the scooter, DaVinci scooter, electric scooter. This is not a comparison of the two bikes' performance. My bike will be used for referencing in some of the technologies and comparing it that way. Comparison of technologies and comparison of materials, because this is a fire-breathing dragon made for racing, and this is made for urban transportation to reduce carbon footprint, and at that it is a fantastic idea. especially if your commuter range, if the bike's capability is within your commuting range. with some extras to spare. So let's take a look at the controls here and the instrument panel. Other than the glare, it looks like the vehicle's indicated maximum top speed, where it's governed to be no faster than 30 miles an hour or 50 kilometers an hour. And instead of a fuel gauge, it's got a cute little battery gauge on it. It's about the size of a scooter. You can see that it's not much narrower than my normal motorcycle, or from this direction my black bike doesn't have a center stand, so it needs to be tilted a little bit, and it's not a lot shorter, but just for size comparison there, it's a scooter size. So the lady who owns it tells me that the scooter's electric motor is torquey enough to go up and down the hills. We're talking about Fraser River estuary, steep hills around maybe 10% hills, 8 or 10% hills. It's not a problem. She says speed doesn't drop on it. This is, by the way, a used scooter. She bought it second hand. I don't know what year it is. There isn't anything that identifies this. This doesn't have a VIN number or anything that would tell date of manufacture. The mirror's span is greater than on my ZX6, so visibility and view from the mirrors are expected to be fantastic, and it should be chatter free or vibration free, because it doesn't have a motor, an internal combustion motor that would vibrate the whole chassis, whereas mirror vibration is an issue, and it lacks a clear image over 6,000 RPM on this one. Not happening. You can always have a nice clear view in your rear view or in your mirrors for looking at the traffic behind you. And because it's a slow vehicle, there'll be a lot of looking at the traffic behind you for any time you want to lane change. DaVinci's website that we looked at was godavincigo.com, so says the this license plate looking thing on it. So let's have a little look at this one here. Underneath the seat, which opens with a key, it's been opened up, so I don't have to spend time on that. What you see here is a breaker, much like in any breaker panel, standard breaker that you can flip, and it doesn't say how many amps. Let me see. Does it say amperage on it? Yeah, the breaker is rated for 6,000 amps. Alright, this is the battery compartment here. What you are looking at is two batteries, two 12-volt batteries connected in series, or so it seems, and providing the drive for the rear wheel. The rear wheel is driven, and that cables actually make it down to the rear hub. That's where the motor is, behind this plate. And in recent years, with these brushless motors and stuff, the technology that's inside that hub could be working for years without problems. Brushless motors have been around for long enough. Looking at the suspension here, this is the lower mount of the suspension, and the coiling, it's got two coils on two sides, and this coiling tells me that this is a progressive rate spring, with softer springing provided by the coils that are closer to each other, and stiffer spring rates are provided by the upper part of the spring. So this is how progressive coils look like for suspension. The bike has a swing arm here that you're looking at, the swing arm. Let's check out the end of it. It looks like a swing arm is, just a sec, there. I'm just gonna change my hands. This is the end of the swing arm, and it's hollow, and I can see this cross section. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. There. It's stamped steel. Stamped steel is fine. It works as a swing arm, especially for little scooters like this one. So the lateral forces at cornering are perfectly handled with a swing arm of this size and this nature. This is the underside of the swing arm there. The bike comes with a center stand and the side stand, and what I want to point out is that the swing arm and the frame of the bike, everything is made of mild steel. Now, mild steel rusts just like so, and other than being unsightly, like on this center stand here, there's a problem right here where the swing arm and the bracket here meet, that you can see this weld here cracked. The weld cracked without breaking a part of the swing arm out. You can see this weld is actually breaking up at multiple points here. The reason for this weld failure here is because, let's see, this is where the, is because of lack of fusion. This bracket was never hot enough, and this swing arm was never hot enough to be fused together with the weld bead that was placed here. This lack of fusion results in a straightforward separation here, and this begs the question, of course, if this is how the foot or what the center stand bracket is welded up, how good are the other welds elsewhere, everywhere on the bike? If the people don't have the skills to weld the bracket on properly, then why would any of the welds along the swing arm, for example further in here, this connecting piece, or anywhere else for that matter, why would the welds be any better elsewhere? There are more welds here on the frame. It's a tubular steel frame. More welds there and more corrosion there. Let's see. Let's look at this one real close. Yep. It's just rusting here. It's not separating just yet, but you know, it could be under a shock load and it could be separating. Over here at the front, it's just bent. That's okay, that happens. And this side is also corroding here quietly, and yeah, that doesn't show any weld separation, but it has this spatter on it from welding that should be cleaned up. So by contrast, when welding is done in a professional manner, it looks like this. This is aluminum welding. It's a TIG welding aluminum together. See, this one doesn't have any problems, and the material is aluminum here. Two pieces of casting here is welded together on my Kawasaki Ninja 6, and it doesn't show any sign of corrosion because aluminum doesn't rust like steel does. So the manufacturer claims that this is all quality and outstanding and everything, but what I'm looking at is that they chose the cheapest materials to make it out of and pay probably the cheapest labor available to do substandard work, so that the company's claim of exacting specifications and highest standards. Yeah. Over here at the front, what do we have there? This is the frame of the bike here. Some of it is there. Also, tubular mild steel is what we're looking at here. It doesn't have any signs of corrosion. It looks fine. Here is a front is telescoping fork like so, which is super skinny in comparison to, of course, my racing bred ZX6, but you know, this will probably, you know, hold you up and provides a comfier ride than any bicycle would. What we have here for the braking department is a drum brake at the front, hopelessly inefficient. Just for comparison, this is a top of the line racing disc brake with ABS, but that's not the point. The drum brake can work as well, much better than the bicycle's little brakes that you know, bicycles would have. So this is an upgrade from any bicycle's brake in terms of efficiency, but in comparison to a motorcycle, this looks cute. I also notice here that the spring in the telescope here, that the axle and the spring are offset like on most dirt bikes. This is to provide more suspension travel for the spring, so a longer spring can be fitted into it, as opposed to having the spring here, the axle line up with the shock or with the fork tube, and the spring here has to be, the bottom of the spring is somewhere here in this assembly. So you see, when the axle is in front of it, then that's how the spring is longer. Not that DaVinci sells suspension upgrade or spring upgrade for this bike, or the manufacturer of the fork here would make any different springs, but just this is made for comfort and not for ferocious cornering speeds. Likewise, the tire is cheap and simple. And does it have a brand? Yeah, there looks like something made in China, seriously, just by given the letters and whatever. And I don't know how it works for cornering and whatever else, but you know, given the mudguard and the body on a scooter, you will stay even in a rain a lot drier on a scooter than on a bicycle. And instead of pedaling, your efforts could go into maintaining healthy space margins around your vehicle for shoulder checks and everything. So, you know, brake, tire, wheel and suspension, cute in comparison to mine, but they are a lot better and keep you a lot drier than bicycling, any bicycling would do. I'm trying to get to the other side. Just give me a sec here. There. Oh yeah, the vehicle is not heavy, as you can see. And the thing that I want to point out is, okay, since we're here, it's got a cute little storage compartment like so. All of the plastic panels are fairly flexible. I don't want to crack any of it, but you know, this is what I mean. The foaming is not terribly thick, but the seat is a lot more comfortable than any bicycle seat would be. And I'm just coming down to this side here. One more thing that I wanted to point out about the battery. Sorry, there's 3 or 4 batteries are here connected in series, and I forgot to point out this battery shimming technology here that uses a stylish color painted along the edge to match. So this goes with the company's claims of high-tech and exacting specifications and highest standards. There, this is a strand-oriented board here, oriented strand board, OSB. This is providing cushioning for vibration and impact for the battery compartment. You can see it underneath the battery, as well as there is one more piece here. You're looking at the edge of it. So so that lives there. Cute. Next one is, or last item on the bike here, is the chain and this pedal drive. I have the pedals over there, but this is a square end here on a shaft that you can mount here and propel the scooter forward with this pedal, with this bicycle chain that's fitted on it. So if you run out of battery, you still have a method of propulsion going forward. Yeah, exacting specifications and high tech. Yeah, this is a chain, a bicycle chain that has this connecting link on it that looks like this. Yeah, I'm looking at cheapest materials, cheapest labor possible. I'm not sure about this plastic deformation of mild steel here, where one corner of, yeah, this is welded here to be the stop block for limiting the rotation of the center stand here, and then is it displacing the metal and making this bulge up and out. Of course the paint peels off it, and much like the other side, I expect this weld also to be delaminating and lacking fusion. And the welding over here is also showing their porosity and gappage there, where water can enter and fill this lower part here with water, so it can rust from the inside and then collapse one day under the weight of the scooter. That's practical. Yeah. So I am not sure if those were the exacting specifications they had in mind on the website, but this is what you're getting for your money from DaVinci. So the electric scooter with this bicycle chain then comes to the end. It looks like a 1-to-1 drive, where the driven sprocket is the same size as the drive sprocket at the front there. So that basically concludes my observations. The rear tire is the same as front tire. It, let me see, all purpose, and that's all it says. You know, this could be practical, that there's only one type of tire to make, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I could perfectly well foresee or see how these vehicles could function to reduce carbon emissions and everything, but at this level of execution and this level of professionalism put into it, I don't know. It's your choice, buddy. If you like it, go for it. If you're unhappy, please make sure the manufacturer hears about it.